Yes, delegate of Philippines. Delegate of
Thank you, Honorable Dice. Delegate of Philippines would like to raise a moderate caucus to discuss the economic crisis caused by the COVID-19.
Okay, for the total time parameters,
Total time pyramid is 20 minutes, individual speaking time 1 minute.
make it 10-1.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. So with this, are there any other points or motion on the floor, delegates? Yes, the delegate of Jordan.
Delegate of Jordan would like to raise the motion for the moderated caucuses to
Uh,
discuss causes and problems caused by COVID-19. Time parameter, total time 20 minutes, individual time 1 minute.
okay, for the time parameters, 10-1.
Yes.
Okay, so first we'll vote upon the motion raised by the delegate of the Jordan. You raised the first motion. The delegate of Jordan. What was your motion? The delegate of Jordan. Can you repeat your motion, please?
Yes, yes. Delegate of Jordan would like to raise a motion for the moderated caucus's effect of COVID-19 on education of youngsters and working out an effective strategy to counter these effects.
Thank you so much. So we'll
Welcome.
first vote upon the motion raised by the delegate of Jordan to discuss the effects of coronavirus on education system. All those in favor of the motion, kindly raise their play cards. Kindly raise their hands high. 1, 2, 3. Right. Kindly raise your hands, all of those who want to discuss the motion. So with this motion passes. The delegate of Jordan, you have the floor for next 60 seconds. The delegate of Jordan, you have the floor for next 60 seconds.
Due to COVID-19 outbreak, education sector throughout the world has been affected badly. Classes and exams of all boards worldwide have been postponed or even cancelled, which is having a negative impact on all academic capabilities of students, reducing their competence and delaying their future plans, including job and higher studies. For this rising problem, Delegate of Jordan would like to propose a solution that schools should continue to offer their services by conducting constant classes and exams with the mean of an online application. Thanks.
Delegate, you have done.
Okay, so with this, all those wishing to speak, kindly raise their hands. The delegate of Russia.
Thank you, Chair. As the precautions given by the WHO and the strategies given by the WHO to how to overcome this situation, to isolate and care for patient early, including providing optimized care for infected patient, reduce transmission from the animal source, and also address curricular unknowns regarding clinical severity. Thank you, sir.
The delegate of Pakistan, you have the floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I would like to second the problem which was stated by the delegate of Jordan. Students are facing a huge problem and they are uncertain about their future. So I would like to propose this option the same as Jordan, which by the means of online applications, but there's also issues going on over there. There have been 3% increased usage in the online bandwidth all over the world. So bit by bit we have to solve all these problems. Thank you.
Yes, delegate of Monaco, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you for the recognition, Honorable Chair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the youngsters are the ones who have been affected the severest amongst all of them, because their education is on the risk. Ladies and gentlemen, we see that many of the exams have been cancelled or either postponed, and the great compensation criteria is not being fair enough. Even that college students academic year goes to waste, as they cannot apply for unis. Hence, we propose a framework known as OGP. O standing for online classes to be held for compensation of their syllabus. G, grades should be granted fairly if exams get cancelled. And P, postponing admissions for universities and colleges in accordance to new examinations schedules, so that
Thank you,
each and
delegate
every
of
student
Monaco.
gets fair. Okay.
Time has elapsed. Yes, delegate of Mexico, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. As the COVID-19 forces 185 countries to shut the school, more than 1.7 billion students worldwide are being affected. Schools have been shut down, higher education systems have been shut down, and they're not getting adequate amount of education. As the Plan International and UNESCO has warned for increase of dropout rates, which will be disproportionately affect most of the adolescent girls. Further entrenched gender gaps in education and leave to increase risk of sexual exploitation, early pregnancy, early and forced marriages, and many more problems can be raised from this. So we have to come up with the proper solution to continue the educational system by video conferencing, and most of the people cannot access
Thank you,
the
delegate.
liability of the video conferencing. So
Thank you,
we
delegate. Your
should
time has
give
elapsed.
proper arrangements.
Yeah, sure, granted.
Thank you.
Okay, so delegates, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to entertain the speakers. I'm going to mention the names who are going in a chronological order that the delegates are going to follow. So delegate of Greece, followed by delegate of Sweden, followed delegate of Greece, Sweden, then it's UK, United Kingdom, United United King, United Kingdom, submit, followed by United Kingdom. Then we have Jamaica, Jordan, and Russia. Jamaica, Jordan, and Russia. Okay, so after that, I'm going to entertain more speakers, but for now, these are the speakers. So, delegate of Greece, you have floor for 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for acknowledging me. According to UNESCO, 1.7 billion schoolgoers are being affected by the coronavirus. And now it's not just about the students, it's about the teachers, it's about the janitors, the PMs who have lost their jobs. I would like to propose a solution to implement the measures to ensure that students, including those with disabilities or from low-income backgrounds, have complete access to the online learning programs, and their data privacy and data security is being protected so that they are not exposed to cybercrime. And also, the parents and teachers should be imparted with the knowledge of using digital learning tools. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Now, delegate of Sweden, you have floor for 1 minute. Delegate of Sweden, you have floor for 60 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. To face this global challenge of COVID-19, we need to take a stand in solidarity and with one voice fight this global menace which is eating at the very fabric of our existence. And that also comes in play with our education. The children now are the future, and those who have been in school are now at home with no supervision, and the internet is not censored. So the children are now open to all forms of exploitation and all forms of illegal things. It is imperative now
Thank
governments
you,
need to
delegate.
put
Your
in
time has
place.
elapsed.
Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Your time has elapsed. Delegate of United Kingdom, you have floor for 60 seconds.
Hey, you rain, weather, think you're in Ghana, Bango. You try yourself. I need to push back. I need to lie straight and angulate myself.
Delegate, please. Delegate, the official language for this committee is English. Delegate of United Kingdom. Okay. Okay. Delegate of Jamaica, you have floor for next 60 seconds. Delegate of Jamaica, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Hello, may I start? Delegate of Jamaica.
Yeah, sure.
So first of all, the education, it is a great joy to the students that the schools are closed, they're staying home in idle. But it's a more problem as they're staying idle. They doesn't want to study because they're bored. So what they did, they sleep every day. That's a very bad thing. But still the government has said that they would make online classes. But the third class countries, they can't afford online classes. Why? Because they're not much developed in technology. So therefore I guess many better solutions should be taken for them. For example, what they can do is that they can send mails to every student's house to give them homework that you should do this and that, today English homework, then another other subject. So
Thank you, delegate. Your time has elapsed.
okay.
Yes, delegate of Jordan, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Delegate of Jordan would like to explain its solution of online application. This proposed online application should be created by Microsoft and funded by all countries member of UNESCO. This application would be named as DED Digital Education and would have the features of online testing, attendance and video conferencing allowing number of participants. Delegate of Jordan would also like to propose another solution to overcome the negative impact on education of youngsters currently in the last year of their high schooling. All such students in all countries should be graded according to the grading system. Delegate of Jordan would like to propose this grading system should be
Thank you, delegate.
permission to complete the sentence
Yes, granted.
as EGS emergency grading systems.
Thank you,
System.
delegate. Thank you, delegate.
Thank you.
Delegate of Russia, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The global lockdown of education institution is going to cause major interruption in student learning, disruption in internal assessment, and the cancellation of public assessment of qualification or their replacement by an inferior intellective.
Is that
Perhaps to the disappointing of some children have not generally been sent home to play. The idea is that they continue their education at home in the hope of not missing out too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, delegate. Now, delegate all those wishing to speak for the moderated caucus, that is the solutions for the negative impact faced by the education sector in different worlds. Please raise your hands.
Mhm.
So, Jamaica, followed by.
Sir, I removed my hand.
Okay, delegate, no problem. I removed your name too. Delegate of delegate of Philippines, followed by delegate of Bahrain, followed by delegate of Sudan, followed by delegate of Pakistan, followed by delegate of Russia. Delegates, please lower down your hands when your name has been added to the list. Yes, delegate of Philippines, you have floor for 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Dice. Like many other industries, the education sector has been severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. As of last week, 165 countries has closed their schools nationwide, impacting over 1.5 billion children and youth. According to UNESCO, there is also still great uncertainty as to when schools will reopen. Thankfully, these days, there are many free or low cost, easy to use digital communication tools that allow for a range of remote learning solutions. For now, teachers, students, and family are still grasping with the immediate task of conducting online classes and remote learning in the confinement of their homes. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Delegate of Bahrain, you have the floor for next 60 seconds. Delegate of Bahrain, you have the floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for the recognition. Delegate of Bahrain wants to the wants to take the committee towards the COVID-19 and impacts on the education of the youngsters. The examinations that the schools are off because of this the fact that we have to maintain and practice the social distancing. But country like Bahrain, maybe we can afford online education where every citizen is above the line of poverty. But as for now, we speak for all the people, even for those who live in Africa. In
Thank
the
you,
third world
delegate.
countries.
Your time has elapsed.
May I complete the sentence?
Yeah, sure. Great.
So I propose, a delegate of Bahrain proposes that the examination season be replaced by vacations, and it be the examinations be postponed for 2 to 3 months until that this can be contained.
Delegate,
and we are
delegate. Sentence means sentence. Like you should just sentence means only 2 words that are left in the sentence, not a complete paragraph. Okay, so avoid this thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, delegate of Sudan, you it was delegate of Bahrain, right? Delegate
Yes.
of Bahrain. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Delegate of Sudan, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So many solutions have been proposed, but my question remains: how about people in the third world countries, where so many of them do not have access to internet facilities and other means of communication? Sudan has a situation where free and compulsory education is mandatory for all children. But how about people who do not have access to these things? So my proposition is that we should consider people who cannot access the main 4 walls of education first, and then find a way to connect them to the rest of the world, and so that they can have better understanding of what is happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, delegate. Delegate of Pakistan, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I have 2 propositions for this online education issue. First of all is that first we should train all the students and the teachers accordingly to the situation so they can perform better on their studies. The second thing is there is a big issue and big argument going on about the grading system. I think the grading should be more convenience according for the students, as there is already enough stress going on around the world, so a little beacon of hope would be good. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. So delegates, all those wishing to speak for in this moderated caucus, please raise your hands. So,
Point of
okay.
personal. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, delegate, yes.
You remove my name, Russia.
Uh, Sorry, you didn't, right? Russia?
Yes, I didn't get a
You
floor.
didn't. Okay, sorry. Apology for that. Okay, Russia followed by Jordan, followed by, we are going to take some 2 or 3 speakers only. Brazil,
Bahrain, Mexico.
and Russia. Yes, ma'am. Mexico.
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 Bahrain. Bahrain is added.
No.
So Russia has been repeated twice. Please add Bahrain and Portugal.
Okay. Bahrain and Portugal.
Hanji, Bahrain and Portugal.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Honorable delegates, the ones whose name has been recognized, you can put your hands down, please. Thank you. Oh, Monaco is there as well. Shayan, do add Monaco as well. Thank you. So the next speaker on the floor is Russia. Russia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. There's another question rise on the floor that what can be done to mitigate these negative impacts. The school need resources to rebuild the loss in learning once they open again. How these resources are used and how to target the children who were especially hard is an open question. Given the evidence of the importance of the assessment for learning, schools should also consider postponing rather than skipping internal assessment. For new graduates, policies should support their entry to the labor market to avoid longer unemployment period. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Russia. Delegate of
Thank you.
Jordan, you are next.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Delegate of Jordan would like to explain its solution of online application. This proposed online application should be created by Microsoft and funded by all countries member of UNESCO. This application would be named as DED Digital Education and would have the features of online testing, attendance and video conferencing allowing number of participants. Delegate of Jordan would also like to propose another solution to overcome the negative impact on education of youngsters currently in the last year of the high schooling. All such students in all countries should be graded according to their grading system. Delegate of Jordan would like to propose that this grading system should be named as EGS Emergency Grading System, in which students should be graded according to their attendance.
Thank you, delegate. Your time has been elapsed.
Permission to complete the sentence?
Granted.
And school exams. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Honorable Delegate of Jordan. Brazil, you are next on the
Thank you, Chair. So, as a delegation of Brazil, we would like to mention that most of the countries are under lockdown and students are being educated online through different systems. However, efficiency of the system should be discussed when we consider it psychologically. As important exams like IB, IGCSE, and national exams are cancelled all around the world, students are not caring about school anymore due to the number of exams, as we observe participation rate, which is too low. One-to-one education has always been preferred in educational philosophy. So rather than wasting time with online education, which is useless, we call countries to accept year repetition for all students in order to not force students to study under this stress.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Brazil. Thank you. Mexico, you're next.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. As the students, billions of students are being affected worldwide, the delegate of Mexico would like to present some of the solutions. students. Leverage should be provided to the teachers and the community. So to work closely with teachers, staff to ensure inclusive methods of distance learning to be adopted. Adopt appropriate distance learning practices. In context where digital solutions are less accessible, consider less low-tech and gender-responsive approaches. Send reading and writing materials home. Use radio and television broadcast to reach the most marginalized. Consider the gender digital code. Plan for inclusive learning, providing direct individual and online learning. Daily check-ins with the teachers and video conferencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Mexico. Bahrain, you have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am, for the recognition. Today, when the World Health Organization is actually emphasizing on not to lift the curfew, the countries which have already banned the school and colleges for the practice of social distancing, they're moving towards digital education. But now, as it is the end of the season, mostly it's the exam seasons, the delegate of Bahrain proposes that these examinations be postponed, and this time actually be covered by the vacations rather than stressing the students and delaying them, because digital education is certainly not going to be worth it.
Thank you,
Thanks
Delegate
very
of
much.
Bahrain.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Bahrain. Portugal, you're next.
Okay, delegates of Portugal believes that online education is the way to go in the midst of this pandemic. And so in doing so, delegate of Portugal proposes that teachers as well as the students should be given some prior training to this online system, and that the courses should be created in the form of modular forms with forums where students
The Delegate of Bahrain, you've been recognized.
Delegate, thank you, Honorable Chair. Delegate of Bahrain would like to raise a motion to discuss the negative role of social media during the crisis and the way to tackle for a time frame of 20 individual time of 1 minute and a collective time of 20 minutes.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Honorable Delegate. So the Delegate of Bahrain has raised a moderated caucus of negative impacts of social media. Total speakers time 20 minutes and individual speaking time 1 minute. Delegates wishing to support this moderated caucus, please raise your hands now. Delegates wishing to support this moderated caucus. The caucus is negative impacts of social media. Individual speakers time 1 minute. Total speakers time 20 minutes. So
It passes as we have around 1/3 votes, 8 votes, like yes, completely passes.
with that, this motion passes, and we are now in that particular moderated caucus. Delegate of Bahrain, would you like to take the floor?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The social media, the delegate of Bahrain wants the committee to know that in the recent time, like 300, more than 300 people in Iran died because of a fake news there on social media that methanol could treat COVID-19, and more than 300 people drank methanol and they died of it. Simultaneously, there are other examples of it where fear is being spurred by the social media, and people are dying more of that fear than COVID-19 itself, because they don't have the willpower to fight it. So, delegate of Bahrain would like to propose the countries to put a control on the social media rules, to reconsider those laws, and to bind the social media companies to abide by these rules.
Thank you,
Delegate.
Delegate. Your time has elapsed.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate.
Yeah.
Delegates wishing to speak for this moderated caucus, please keep your hands raised, and our esteemed chair would recognize your names and make them add on to the list. Please give us approximately 15 seconds processing time for that. So we have Greece, Monaco, Portugal, Mexico, Pakistan, Jordan, Philippines. Greece, you're next.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for acknowledging me. As we practice social distancing, our embrace of social media gets only tighter. People look up to the social media platforms to provide them with facts and figures regarding the coronavirus. According to the Director General of World Health Organization, we're not just fighting an epidemic, we're fighting an infodemic, an excessive amount of information which will create problems by spreading misinformation and creating confusion and distrust among the people. As the delegate of Greece, I would like to propose a few solutions. First of all, the country governments should crack down upon such misinformation. Second, the social media companies can play an active role by blocking, demoting, or elevating the posts. Thirdly, the influencers can harness the influence for good by spreading
Thank you,
positive
delegate.
content among the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. The delegate of, sorry, just a second, Honorable Delegates. There's a discrepancy. Monaco was supposed to be added onto the list before Mexico. Honorable Delegate of Mexico, please accept our apologies. Monaco would be the next on the list.
Thank
Is
you for
delegate of
Yes, I'm ready to speak.
Yeah, okay. Delegate of Monaco would be the next one, and after that, we'll go to Mexico.
Okay, thank you for the recognition, Honorable Chair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the social media is one of the biggest stakeholders in spreading rumors and fake information about this coronavirus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we see many different types of messages circulating around social media, which includes religious scholars scholars blaming other groups. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing people are spreading various and unapproved, uncertified cures to the virus. As the delegates mentioned, many people have died of it as well. Spreading wrong information of deaths to people, which can cause panic for no reason, and spreading rumors about cures of vaccine, giving them fake hope. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we propose a solution that strict censorship laws should be applied on social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, imposing fines on people who spread these types of laws and public awareness on all sorts of media about the penalty code of doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Mexico, with apologies, it's your chance now.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. As social media plays a pivotal role in our society, many social media services are filling people's minds with false news and spoofs. As social media molds the thinking and the psychological behaviors of the youth and everybody else. News like for curing coronavirus, use hot liquids, etc., are not true. These are all fake news. Only preventive measures are there. There is no particular cure. As the WHO Director General said, we're not fighting just a pandemic. We are fighting an infodemic. Various social media services should be
Delegate,
available.
your time has elapsed.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Before we proceed any further, we need approximately 7 seconds processing time, which means we would like to update the speakers list with the following countries: Portugal, Jamaica, Russia,
Portugal, Jamaica, and Russia, right?
Yes, Russia, Philippines,
Kindly recognize
Brazil,
the delegate of Brazil.
Philippines, Russia, Russia, oh, Russia is mentioned already, Brazil,
at Brazil.
And Bahrain as well.
Okay, Jamaica.
Sorry, just a second. Just to clarify, honorable delegates of Greece and Monaco, would you like to speak again, or did you just like forget to raise your hands, to put your hands down?
I forgot to lower my hand down. I don't
All
want
right.
to speak
Okay.
anymore.
So, honorable delegates, the ones who have been recognized on the speakers list, please put your hands down. We would follow the speakers list, so don't worry. You'll have your moment of glory and fame. So don't worry about that. Right. So moving on, we have Pakistan now. Pakistan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As we know, today is the era of information and technology, but unfortunately, this technology is, if used by wrong hands or by unintentionally or intentionally, can bring disastrous results. As we have seen, there have been spread of misinformation very globally, like through Facebook, Twitter, even WhatsApp and WhatsApp groups. They have been very crucial, and they have begin bringing us down. So there are two battlefields. One is pandemic we have to fight, and this is being spreading fear and misinformation. So we have to fight within ourselves and with outside as well. So we could fight this disease better. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you very much, honorable delegate. Honorable delegate of Jordan, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Facebook, Google, WhatsApp, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Reddit,